Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's Gentleman here, and I have another story time for you guys today. And in my opinion, it's kind of a interesting one. It's something that I actually just remembered happened. I feel like I say that in most of my videos. Just, oh, hey, here's a new story time that I just remember happened. Because I usually have to sit and think about something and see if it's worth making a video about. But this is a story that takes place a couple years ago. So I'm going to hop right into it. It takes place, I don't remember exactly how many years ago, but a good couple. And this time I had like two really close friends at the time. We'll call them Andrew and Nick is what we'll call them. And at the time I had just like moved schools. I was kind of like, I wasn't really seeing my regular friend group that much. So I'd made my two new friends and they were like pretty close to me at the time. We're not very close now. We hardly talk. If ever, I talk to like one of them still. But at the time we were really close. And how it ended up being is our friend Nick, he was friends with this girl named Leia, who was friends with this girl named Dawn. Obviously, those aren't these actual names, but this is what we're calling them. And Dawn was connected to like this whole big friend group. So by addition, the rest of us, like me, my friends Andrew and Nick, and this girl Leia, we were all kind of part of this friend group because of that. We kind of ended up splitting into a friend group of just the four of us later on, but that's a different story for a different day. So I'm going to hop into the main story now that we've got all the backstory out of the way. So what this group of friends would usually do outside of school is there used to be sort of a roller rink in the city that I live at. And I don't know if roller rinks are really a thing anymore. I know the place that I'm talking about has since closed down, which is really sad because it was kind of a cool place. But yeah, there was just like a rink where you can roller skate around and tables where you could sit and eat food. And there's some arcade games and stuff. And yeah, it was a cool place. It was a lot of fun to go. And so one day, it was really early in the day. I had just woken up and I get a text from my friend Nick. And he's like, hey, we're all going to the roller rink today. Do you want to come? We can pick you up. I'm like, yeah, sure. That sounds good. Do you want me to text Andrew and ask if he wants to come? He's like, yeah, sure, do that. So I text Andrew, ask him if he wants to come. He says he has to go do something, but he'll show up later. And I'm like, okay, cool. Nick's just picking me up now. He's like, all right, I'll meet you guys there later. And so Nick's mom rolls up and she picks me up and she drops us off at this roller rink. And yeah, she gave us a little bit of money to like get food and whatnot because Nick's mom was a really nice lady is all I remember. I haven't seen her in a while, but she was really nice. And so we walk in and we see our friend there, our friend Leia, and she's there with her friend Dawn, who's like kind of our friend, but I'm not going to specify that every time. And so they're both there and like a couple more people from this friend group show up. And, you know, it just starts to become like a big thing. We're all hanging out, having a good time, you know, sitting there. Everyone ordered French fries, like literally everybody. Everybody would come back with like a thing of French fries and be like, oh, you guys can have some if you want. There'd be like these big things of French fries. So we had so many fries that day. And I think everyone was sick of it by the end of the day. It's like mix it up a little, get some onion rings maybe. But no one did. Just fries. And I think the last one to show up was my friend Andrew. And, you know, we're just kind of hanging out, having a good time, talking, skating around. It was a fun place. It was a simple thing, but it was a good place to go to hang out. They had like a board where you could request music for them to play and stuff. It was just a really cool place, and honestly, I kind of miss it. I think it would be a cool like date or even just a hangout nowadays. So I wish it was still there, but that's not really the point of the story. So what happened is we were skating around, and we noticed this guy that would like constantly come and like skate close to us, but specifically close to this girl Dawn that we were friends with. And, you know, people were messing with her like, oh, I think he likes you and stuff, you know, as you do at this point in time. But what ended up happening is once we were all sitting down, she started telling us that like she knows him, like kind of knows him. I think she said he was like 2, maybe 3 years older than us at the time. And he was a guy that had like hit her up a couple times, was really interested in her, and had said some like really questionable things because she had one thing I remember specifically is Actually two. I remember two things he said were like these awful pickup lines that he had sent her like over Snapchat or something. One of them was, "Are you homework?" Because I would slap you on my desk and do you all night. And the other one was, "Are you Flappy Bird?" Because I would tap that forever. Which is, those are both like horrible things. Honestly, if my expert advice, yeah, as if I'm the expert on this, but my advice, don't do that. Don't give people you're interested in lines like that. It's not a good way to get people interested in you. They'll probably block you, which is the smart thing to do. But anyways, so yeah, she knew this guy, and he just would not stop following us. Like, he would not stop. He wouldn't talk to any of us, not even her, but he would not stop, like, following us. Every time we'd go sit down and stuff, he'd, like, sit near us. He'd always skate near us and stuff. And eventually, we just couldn't deal with it anymore. So we just, like, actively tried to avoid him. And, at the end, we just couldn't do it. He'd always just be near us. And it was really weird. So eventually, we're done at the roller rink. We, like, take all our stuff off and whatnot. And he leaves too as we're leaving. Like, he takes off his roller skates, gives them back and stuff. And yeah, he just kind of like stares at us as we leave this roller rink. And it's really weird. And yeah, like, he just kind of I don't think that's proper. He stared at us as we were leaving. And, slowly everyone got picked up because nobody has a driver's license at this point in time. So we're all waiting for our rides. And everyone goes home. And we had this group chat at the time. And we got a text on the group chat later from this girl, Dawn. She's like, "The guy messaged me." And we're like, "Oh, really? What did he say?" And she said, like, "Oh, he went on this whole rant about how he saw me today and, like, what a coincidence. And he so badly wanted to talk to me. And he asked me out." And we're like, "What? Really?" And she's like, yeah, he did. And we're like, "Well, what are you going to say?" It's like, "Oh, I think I'm just going to, like, leave it on scene." And we're like, "Okay, do whatever you want to do, I guess." And yeah, that was kind of the end of things I witnessed from that. Apparently he kept, like, harassing her for a while, but she would never respond. So, he just gave up eventually, I guess. But throughout the rest of that school year, I remember consistently hearing about it. Well, at least for the most of it, because like I said, the friend group kind of got into a fight. That's kind of a story. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, that's this story of the creepy guy at the roller rink. Moral of the story, don't use awful pickup lines. They never ever work, so don't do that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the story today. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new. Feel free to let me know your stories in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.